Hi folks, hope you're doing well. Just a quick video about Manchester United again. Well, because again we are at this point now, beginning of another week, and still Ineos are doing their review, and it's now the 10th of June. It's insane. I commented on the video with Andy Townsend because he was basically saying he was a player for Villa, I do believe, Aston Villa. He was saying that Ten Hag set United up perfectly against City, and he shouldn't get the sack after that because he won the cup. Absolutely stupid, moronic point. Because again, so many United fans are saying the same, and it's so incredibly stupid. They're saying he's won 2 cups. That's 2 games. 2 games. You're basing the fact that you think he should have another year based on 2 games. What about the Champions League games where they were absolutely awful? They finished bottom of a group when they should have gone through. What about those games? You're not looking at those at all? What about the 14 games they lost this season? You don't think you can look at that? What about last season, the FA Cup against City, where City were playing for the treble and United had a chance to stop them from doing that? Yeah, United, the only club that's won the treble, and there was no pride at all in the team or the manager at stopping City. None at all. So you don't want to include that. You just want to include the games that he won that you think matters, ignoring everything else. And even like the manager, when he speaks, again, you're ignoring the fact that after matches, whether win, lose or draw, the performances have been genuinely quite poor. Right? You can probably hear the rain. It's raining again. Yep. The performances have been quite poor. And he comes out at the press conference acting as if we were unlucky. Acting as if, we were the better team and we did this and we defended well. Excuse me. The other team had 25 shots. As a team, you had 5. You won 2-1 based upon the fact that you've spent, 150 million on front players? The other team has spent 40. Right? But as a team, you're giving the other team chance after chance after chance after chance after chance to score, and that's idiotic. To think that that's a good way of managing things is crazy, because a shot could deflect off someone and go in the goal quite easily. 5 could. You could have lost that game 5 or 6-2 because of deflections, which you can't manage. Again, he went after the conference, the press conference, that there's nothing he could have done, to improve things. And it's like, look, I've managed, amateur football, and so amateur teams. With an amateur team, you have to rely upon the ability and knowledge of your players, because you don't have time to train them. But you really are a manager that can't really do very much to help your team. All you can do is make changes during the game. You can't do any preparation work. You can't, do anything like that. No. Because your players are working during the week. They don't have time to train, and certainly in winter, which is most of the season, there isn't enough daylight to train in the evening. Unless you can pay to go to somewhere that has lighting to train, which in most cases you can't, because people haven't got that sort of money to waste. And they don't take their Sunday league or Saturday amateur football that seriously that they're going to want to do that. Erik ten Hag is speaking after the games that that's the level that he is coaching at. That's the level he's managing at. And the fans accept that. The fans talk as if he's coaching at that level. As if, as a manager, there's nothing he can do. That they have all these injuries and there's nothing he can do. Excuse me, as a club, they did have a January window. They could have brought in players. They could have brought in players on loan. They had a number of players. They had, I think, the Tottenham left back, and they let him go back. Again, why? We don't have a left back. That might have been the season before. I'm not totally sure, because they've had an awful lot of loan players. But when you know that left back is your problem, then if you don't want to play Amrabat, let him go. In the January window, let him go back to his club, right? And bring in a blinking left back. Instead of moaning that we've got injuries, we haven't got a left back, go and get one. Simple as that, really. Go and bloody get one. That's not, but you've got a transfer window. You can do that. As an amateur manager, I don't have a transfer window. Yeah? I don't have a load of players that I can bring in on loan. If I get injuries, that's it. I've got injuries. Can't do anything about it. Even at my age now, if I was managing a team and we had injuries, I might have to go and play. Even at 54, I might have to go and play. That's how amateur managers have to do things. They might have to put kit on themselves and go and play. Because they can't field 11 men. They can't do that. So they have to go and play. They might have to put a 14-year-old on. Yeah, Man United fans and the manager are talking as if Erik ten Hag is in that situation. He is not. That's the point. He is not. There are things that could have been done, should have been done, and that he as a manager should have been pushing to be done, and yet, no. All they wanted was excuses. And so, yeah, for me, with Ineos in charge, I think is it possible Manchester United could get relegated? This Man United now? Oh, absolutely. They have just let Varane go, right? World class, absolute world class, World Cup winner, Champions League winner, won multiple titles in the Spanish League for Real Madrid, played against some phenomenal players. In his head, he has so much knowledge about how to play the game, and yet they keep Evans and Maguire. Evans, who was a free because nobody wanted him, and Maguire, who United wanted to get rid of last summer. They keep them. Why? Because they're on less money. All about money. They want to get rid of Casemiro for the same reason, because he's earning 400,000 a week. So they want to get the wage bill down. But the problem is they keep him at McTominay, who is nowhere near that level. Nowhere near. Absolutely nowhere near that level. They're even looking to, I'm not sure if United are going for Amrabat. I think they are. I think they're looking to actually sign Amrabat on a permanent. And yet the manager for most of that season didn't want to use him. Didn't want to use him. At all. Insane. But they were signing because of the fact he will be cheap and his wages will be cheap. Simple. So if that's the case, could this Man United team, with Ineos running it, certainly the way they're doing things right now, could they get relegated? I think yes. Well, Ineos, when they first come in, they got lots of praise because they were after Dan Ashworth from Newcastle, and they made a big fuss about getting Dan Ashworth in. and we're in June. They still haven't got Dan Ashworth in. We're in June. They're still waiting for all that. They're waiting. Again, if you're managing it right, you will put out a public statement to say, right, we don't want Dan Ashworth now, we're going for that person. Because we can't wait. As a club, we can't put everything on hold. But they are. And this whole idea of, well, if they can't find another manager that wants to come that's good enough, then just give Ten Hag another year, let him finish out his contract. Give yourself a year, to get all the people in place. Again, that's another wasted year. Think about it from the point of view of those fans who buy these season tickets. I don't do that, but some do. I would never do that. Certainly not the way the club is being run right now. I would never give them any money. No chance. But people do. And for those people, I feel sorry for them. I absolutely and totally feel sorry for them because, they love the club and they want to support the club. And the club just really couldn't care less about them. That's what they're showing right now, that they couldn't care less about the fans at all. Yeah. Well, that's just going to mean that people like Mark Goldbridge have a fantastic year and make a ton of money because that's what their channel is about. Where fans go there to his channel to have their messages read out because they are so in need of hope and so desperate. Right now. That Mark Goldbridge, he's doing on United Stand a video, probably about 3 times a day, a 53-minute video 3 times a day, purely for money, for no other purpose than money, because he says in more or less every video, we don't know anything because the club aren't saying anything. And yet he's doing videos talking about transfer news and who the next manager is going to be. He's done videos talking about Southgate is the one they want. Tuchel is the one they want. De Zerbi is the one they want. He's done separate videos talking about all this stuff. So you do a video on Monday saying it's Tuchel. A video on Tuesday saying Tuchel out. A video on Wednesday saying they still want Tuchel. A video on Thursday saying Southgate. A video on Friday saying it's De Zerbi. Purely for money, and fans at the moment, they're getting nothing from the club. So it's like the club is working for United Stand. Because at the moment, United Stand are doing brilliantly well, and the worse the club is doing, the better sites like that do, or channels like that do. Because the more desperate, Newcastle would have had the same. When they had Mike Astley in charge, they would have had the same because the fans were so miserable. And right now it's United. They're in that situation. But so many United fans think, because right now we have that point in society where you support the victim and you stand up for the victim. And they see Ten Hag as a victim. Where, the people in charge, being the players and the owners, are not being right on Ten Hag. They're being unfair to him and they're betraying him. So therefore they want to stand up for Ten Hag, keep him at the club. Whether or not he's the right person for the job doesn't matter. It's unfair to sack Ten Hag. They think, Ten Hag needs more time. Well, what does the club need? They don't think about what the club needs. Excuse me, since when has a manager been risen above the club? The needs of a manager go before the club. What? Again, that's why the club could easily get relegated right now. Because when fans are seeing it in that way, there's no desire for excellence. Not at all. Not in Ineos, not in the fans, not in the players. And with a lack of desire for excellence. Yeah. All that happens is the levels just get pushed lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. Simple as that. Yeah. There we are. That's the situation for that once great football club. That's where it is right now. Yeah. Well, as I say, that was always going to be the case after Sir Alex Ferguson stepped down alongside Martin Gill. That would always have been the case because you're replacing those two that ran the club so incredibly well for so many years would take time. So there you go. Let's see what happens. You take care. God bless. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.